You're staring at your laptop, it's 11 p.m. You're feeling that familiar weight in your chest. The business you built is just not lighting you up anymore like it used to. Maybe you're even thinking about walking away completely. But the thing is that sometimes what feels like a failure is actually your business nudging you towards growth. So today, we are going to figure out which one you're actually experiencing. Welcome to Soulpreneur Scaling Stories. I am Andrea, business coach for VAs and OBMs who want to stop spinning their wheels and start building businesses that actually support their dream lives. So if you have been feeling disconnected from your business lately, know that you might just be in this messy middle of something bigger. So picture this, right? So Monday morning rolls around, and instead of feeling excited about your client calls, you feel heavy. The work that used to energize you now feels like something that you have to push through. Your to-do list is full, but nothing on it sparks joy. There's no Marie Kondoing happening here, right? You don't want to keep any of it. And maybe you've even had this thought late at night, oh, should I shut this down? Should I go back to a 9-to-5? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this life anymore like I thought. And the thing that makes it even trickier is that externally, everything might look fine, right? You're making money, your clients are fine, the work is fine. People tell you they're excited to work with you. You have these markers of success. But internally, you feel exhausted, you feel over it, you just feel disconnected from all of it. And this is exactly the point where many business owners make decisions that they later regret. What's happening here is simple, but it's sneaky. It's that you can choose exhaustion and confuse it with the truth. And that confusion can make you want to walk away from something that just needs to evolve. So I'm going to say that again, is that oftentimes you're confusing exhaustion with truth. And it's this confusion that can make you want to walk away from something that just needs to evolve. And evolution is an interesting thing, right? Because evolution is rarely clean or glamorous. It actually shows up as discomfort. It shows up as disinterest. And sometimes it shows up as irritation with work that you used to love. And that's not because you're not cut out for what you're doing. It's because your capacity, your desires, and you have changed. So think of it this way, right? So you can think of a VA who used to love checking off admin tasks and was super happy doing anything, right? So now, though that was before, but now she zones out during the inbox management because now what she really wants to do is strategize with her clients. She hasn't failed at her business. She hasn't lost her skill. She's outgrown the form in which she helps her clients. Or another example, you can consider an OBM who loves her first clients, but she finds herself resenting constant Slack notifications and these quick questions that her clients have and all these fires she has to put out. She doesn't hate the work. She hates the structure that she built around it. So if that makes sense, right? So you can still love what you're doing. You can love parts of it. You can evolve in terms of your skill or in terms of your offer or just in terms of the structure of your current offer. And this is evolution. Evolution asks you to outgrow what used to fit. And shedding an old version of yourself always feels uncomfortable. That discomfort, it's not a warning or anything like that. It's a signal that it is time to refine and not quit. So think of that, right? So this evolution, it's messy and it's shedding an old version of yourself. And it means that now it's a signal to refine. But sometimes it is time to completely change course. So how do you know? How can you tell when it's time to end something or when it is time to evolve something? I have 3 questions to guide you through this evolution. And I invite you with these 3 questions to, if you're in a car, you can't do this, listen, but come back to it later. And if now you can, pause, take out your journal or your notes and really reflect on these questions. There's only 3 as I go through them. So here is the first question to reflect on is, do I still care about the impact of my work? Now, notice that I said impact and not the tasks, not the things that you are doing. Because if you still light up helping somebody get organized or helping somebody grow their business or seeing the transformation in a client's business, that is evolution. The delivery method might need to change, but the purpose is still alive within you. But if you truly feel nothing, if you don't really care about the transformation, if it's not lighting you up, that's a signal that it might be time for a completely different path. And that's okay too. So question 1 was, do I still care about the impact of my work? Question 2 is, am I craving rest or reinvention? Rest is a pause. Exactly what you think it is, right? It's a pause from the hustle, the constant creation, the calls, the always being on. Whereas reinvention is exploring something new, different clients, different offers, or ways of showing up. So confusing the two here can also lead to frustration. So take that time to understand which your heart is really asking for. Do you just need a rest, a little break, a little pause, or do you truly need a reinvention of what you're doing? And to think this through, go out in nature, be quiet, sit with your own intuition. Don't talk about this constantly with other people and get their input. Literally just be quiet and see what comes through. So question 1 was, do I still care about the impact of my work? Question 2, am I craving rest or reinvention? And question 3 is the problem emotional or structural? If the problem is emotional, that means you're burnt out. There's comparison, there's fear, there's boredom, there's resentment. There's a lot of things happening, right? Obviously, emotionally. If it is structural, there is some sort of offer misalignment. Maybe there are some missing boundaries or pricing that doesn't quite match your lifestyle. Or maybe there are exhausting marketing systems. There's something more structural, logistical going on here. So an emotional problem needs space and support. A structural problem needs redesign. A lot of times it's a bit of both, but you address them differently. So again, is the problem emotional or structural? Are you burnt out? There's boredom, resentment, fear, these things. Or is it just a problem of offer misalignment, boundaries, pricing, marketing systems that don't quite work? So how do you support yourself through each of these? Now, I'll give you an example of somebody who was contemplating this, am I failing, or thinking if they were failing. I recently worked with a client, I'll call her Rachel for the purpose of the story, who sent me a message one night that was just kind of in a panic. And she said, I really just want to burn it down and just quit. I am so exhausted over all of this. She is a talented OBM. She had been building her business for a couple of years. And recently she had this wave of interest and it was really cool. And she was so excited. People were reaching out to her left and right. She was booking discovery calls and it felt like everything was finally clicking for her offer. But then something started happening, right? These clients that she got, they all kind of came from a similar place and they would sign on, but now they weren't engaging. They were missing appointments. They wouldn't complete the work that they needed to do on their end. And when Rachel would follow up, the response was, oh yeah, life is overwhelming. I can't keep up right now. I'll get to it later. Or maybe, I'll come back later and do this, or let's kind of stop early, things like this. So one by one, now this big wave started ending, clients started dropping off, and naturally Rachel spiraled, right? People know, I'm sure you've been here, so people know this place all too well. Like, oh, maybe my offers are wrong. Maybe my services aren't that valuable. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I should just return to what I was doing before. Now, if this sounds familiar, don't worry, I'm going to let you know what we did. So what I did was looked at what's really happening. And what was really happening was that her offers were not the problem. Her skills were not the problem. She wasn't the problem. The problem, the disconnect, was in the people that she had been attracting. Again, like I said, many were from the same community and they just didn't have the capacity yet. They weren't aligned with her offer. They loved her and wanted to be aligned, but they weren't there. Some had the financial means, but not the mental bandwidth. Others were dealing with personal situations and they weren't really as dedicated to their business growth. They genuinely, apparently, wanted what she offered, but they weren't ready to do the work. This is such good data, right? And so now, once Rachel could see clearly what the situation actually was, that's when things started to shift. She realized that, no, I actually love what I do. I don't need to burn it all down. So the plan we came up with was that she needed to adjust her marketing to speak to business owners who had the financial capacity and the mental space to invest, to build relationships with people who already served her ideal clients, so other service providers, to consider creating a lower touch option for people who weren't ready for her premium offerings, and to trust that her work was incredibly valuable. She just needed to get it in front of the right people at the right time. So we made a plan for this, and she felt so much better. So what I told her is what I want to also tell you. You're allowed to make decisions from a place of truth and intuition. So when you're making these big decisions, saying, do I want to just quit this altogether? Make sure that it comes from truth and intuition and not from frustration and desperation. That's the difference between quitting and evolving. And remember, like I said before, your business is trying to tell you something. It's probably not quit, it's probably evolve, right? But this is up to you to determine. The middle is messy, it's confusion, it's doubt, it's I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But clarity does not come from forcing an answer. It comes from space. It comes from better questions, and it comes from remembering why you started and checking in to see, is it still there? So here is your reflection for today. What if nothing is wrong? What if I am just ready for more? And this is not of a place of, oh, I should be further along, or a comparison or anything like that. It's from genuine curiosity about what you actually want now, and is it different from what you wanted before? Your business can grow with you. Your offers can evolve, and you are allowed to want different things than you wanted even a year ago. So if you're sitting here still unsure about whether it's best to walk away or if you just need to evolve what you are doing, that is exactly what I do with my one-on-one clients inside of Expansion. The very first phase is called Illuminate, and it's all about getting crystal clear on what you actually want. We work through assessments, explore your values, and create a detailed vision of your dream life. And because you cannot make good decisions about your business when you don't know what you're actually building toward. So most of my clients come in thinking that they need to completely start over. But after this phase, after Illuminate, they realize that they just need a clarity on where they're going and permission to evolve. So if you are ready to stop second guessing and start making decisions from clarity, check out Expansion. It's linked below, or DM me Evolve on Instagram. And that is it for this week. And I will see you guys next time. And please come over and say hello on Instagram or on Threads or LinkedIn and let me know what you think.